Most advice on starting a brand new luxury vintage shop relies on certain anecdotes. You'll hear advice such as, just list more items, take better pictures, which is fine, it's all very good advice. But what if we stopped guessing and took a look at what the data has to show us? I've been looking through the reports from sites such as eBay, ThredUp, and Retail Economics. I've been curious to know what actually makes a top seller. And this is important, because right now, the global second-hand market is expanding fast. According to ThredUp's 2026 resale report, the second-hand market is growing 4 times faster than the traditional retail market. But as the second-hand space gets more and more crowded, the line between the casual side hustlers and high-performing vintage businesses comes down to certain definitive factors. And among them is passion. According to eBay's recent recommerce report, seller passion is the primary driver in certain categories. These sellers weren't motivated simply by money and profit, no. They were motivated by sharing their passion with others. And the data from the report showed about 23% of sellers were motivated by passion. And in some categories, this was even more. It was up to 43% in collectible card category, for example. That's all those Pokemon fans out there. Now, passion is certainly a super motivator in these categories, but I would argue that passion not only drives engagement, but leads to ordinary sellers becoming top-rated sellers. And having a solid reputation in your niche really pays off. I found information about an experiment they've done. In the experiment, an established eBayer sold matched pairs of vintage postcards. Now, one lot he placed under his usual profile with a very good reputation, but another lot he placed in a brand new profile with no reputation at all. As predicted, the profile with the higher reputation got more sales. In fact, customers were willing to pay 8.1% higher prices for the vintage postcards from the reputable profile. What I think this shows is that customers aren't just out there buying random stuff, no, but they are influenced by good storytelling and curation. And they'd rather pay more for the exact same items if they buy it from a seller who genuinely knows their stuff. In other words, if they have a passion for their items. But what does this mean for us as resellers? Well, I think it pays off if we're able to position ourselves as archivists. But what do I mean by an archivist anyway? Well, let me give you an example from my own business. Now, I strive to position myself not as some reseller who just flips vintage Gucci bags. Not only do I authenticate each and every item, I also strive to pinpoint that item's place in fashion history. I like to include information in my listings that describes the creative director under whose leadership this product was produced. I like to point out certain nuances in the item from the era, for example. In other words, I'm curating my items. And I believe that by curating these items, that builds up my reputation. And when I have a solid reputation in my niche, I'm able to sell my items for just a little bit higher. A customer can just take a look at my Vestiaire Collective profile and know straight away that I mean business. They can see that I know what I'm doing. And many times customers don't even bother to pay that £15 extra to have the piece physically authenticated. Why? Well, I think they take a look at my profile and they trust me. They trust that they're getting an authentic Gucci bag. And because I'm always open and honest about the condition of my items, I rarely get returns. Which brings me to the next point of what truly makes a great seller. Let's talk about transparency. Now, the data consistently shows that concerns about condition and authenticity remain the number one barrier for customers to make a purchase. So it makes sense, if you aspire to be a top-rated seller, that you need to reduce these concerns as much as possible. This means you'll need to be open, honest, and transparent about your items. For example, let's talk about condition. Now, a newbie seller might be tempted to hide those small little flaws on the item in the hopes of making a quick sale. But actually, this is the absolutely wrong way of going about things. Data shows that hiding these flaws damages the seller's credibility, which ultimately poisons their entire business altogether. Because buyers, they just don't like surprises. Now, I read about this interesting thing in the field of behavioral economics, and it's called the prospect theory. What this suggests is the surprise of discovering a hidden flaw is much more intense than the disappointment of finding a flaw that was already known about. So when you disclose your flaws in your items, you're essentially reducing that blind risk that customers are taking. Disclosing flaws allows the customer to make a calculated risk rather than a blind gamble. And this reduces the chance of them of simply walking away from the listing. Now, top sellers know the importance of disclosing these flaws, and the very best ones are even able to turn these flaws into a selling point. In fact, I do this all the time with my Gucci bags. When I do my listings, I make sure to show off all the scarfs and scratches, the patina, the wear and tear on my bags. I show it in the photographs and I mention it in the description too. But here's the thing. For me, there's just something inherently beautiful about a bag having a previous life. And all of those bits of wear and tear simply tell a story. That's not just an old bit of leather. That leather has a patina, and that's genuinely beautiful. But you should know that being open and honest about your flaws is actually a very good way of making more money. That's because being transparent will reduce your returns rate, will prevent negative feedback, and it will turn a customer into a repeat buyer. So what other factors make a top seller? Okay, let's talk about accuracy. Our ThredUp's 2026 resale report shows that 51% of millennials and Gen Z shoppers leverage visual search and use precise sizing tools before they go ahead and make a purchase. And what I think this shows is that there's a strong demand for accurate measurements. But the thing is, many new sellers are just plain lazy. It says medium on the t-shirt, so I'll just list it as medium. But the thing is, top sellers, they don't just rely on tag sizes. That's because they know that a medium for one brand might actually be a large for another brand. And well, let's face it, we're all getting somewhat larger these days, so a vintage size 10 is just not going to fit in the same way as a modern size 10. So the top sellers, they're always looking for ways to reduce the barriers between them and their customers. And a good way of doing this is simply by providing accurate measurements. For a t-shirt, for example, they might leave the length, the pit-to-pit measurement, the shoulders, the sleeves. And if you do strive to provide accurate measurements, I can guarantee you that your return rates will reduce and your sales will increase. And personally speaking, I often skip past listings that have no size measurements at all. It's just too much of a hassle for me to risk my own money on an item that might not fit and will just be sitting in my wardrobe doing nothing. But if that item's priced well and if it's accurately measured, well, there's less barriers and I'm more likely to click buy. That's just the way it is. And talking about price leads me to the next point. Let's talk about value. Now, according to ThredUp's 2026 report, which I've quoted earlier, 60% of consumers say that an item's potential future resale value influences their decision to buy today. And crucially, this figure is increasing 13% year on year. Just think about what that means. Buyers are increasingly treating their vintage items as an asset class, and they want heritage items that will hold their value or potentially increase in value over time. Well, it just so happens that investing in vintage fashion is something of a passion of mine. In fact, I've made a video comparing the prices of handbags to the stock market, so you can check that out later. The top sellers know that customers want an item that they can potentially resell in the future, and this impacts the seller's purchasing decisions when they're out looking for inventory. They're not buying cheap junk to make a quick flip. They're looking for quality items that have a proven track record. So guys, in conclusion, being a top seller is not just about listing thousands of junk items. The data shows that it's about having expertise and a passion. It's about being open and honest with your customers. It's about listing correctly and offering high quality items that will hold their value. And these days, with the second-hand market growing and growing, I think those sellers that go above and beyond for their customers, they're the ones who are going to stand out from the crowd, and they're the ones who are going to be rewarded for their efforts. But now it's your turn. What do you think it takes to be a top seller? That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to support the channel, and I look forward to welcoming you back again soon.